503-5936.
This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Hey, great friends. What's happening? It is Monday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew from the 7 Mile Casino Studios, 7milecasino.com. Hey, Monday, we're just getting onto the airwaves of 1090, onto the stream of YouTube, all the audio podcast platforms, and tonight we'll be on television. So let me just say this. What an incredible Super Bowl we saw last night. And I'm talking start to finish. You know, from the very beginning of this game where both teams come out firing to before halftime where you think Mahomes is hurt and done and out, to the halftime show with Rihanna, which I thought was lit. That's a cool term that my kids use. Also, I mean, getting into the fourth quarter, and is a game really going to end on a what I'll call a ticky-tack kind of penalty like that? All the way through the post game, and I'm sure everybody was watching the commercials. The entire package was incredible. Even when Kansas City had the 8-point lead and Philadelphia drove the ball down the field, and somehow, I don't even know how, Jalen Hurts squirted through to get that 2-point conversion and tie the game. It was an amazing game. And look, I know a lot of people are already out there today chatting about should a game end on a penalty, or should refs call a penalty like that at that stage of a game. We'll get to all of that. Believe me, we're all over it today. We're going to be wall to wall Super Bowl. So hang with us because we're going to have a great day yet again in the 7 Mile Casino Studios with Grande and what should be the Brown Man today. But don't even get me started on the Brown Man. So the good news is Brown Man out and Jason Lawhead is in. So on the day after the Super Bowl, J Law, give me like opening impressions to what you saw yesterday.
You hate to see it end. You hate to see it end like that. You just do. That's my opening impression. Great game. I just felt like that's a call in a regular season game that they're going to let us see the end of that game go the other way. You know, if they called that to just milk that thing down at the end, and I get it. Look, the Chiefs outplayed them in the second half. You know, great. I would have rather seen the Eagles have a chance to go down there and try to tie the game or win the game. And I think that it was just ticky-tack. So bittersweet, because as a football fan with nobody really invested in that, I felt like, man, and walked away from the TV. That's how I felt. That's how I felt.
Grande, good afternoon. Mm-hmm. Good to see you, pal. What's your opening thought on what you saw yesterday?
Game of Thrones. It was the Game of Thrones of Super Bowls. It was amazing. Everything about it was fantastic. Visually amazing. Everything you wanted from a game. And it ended with a whimper. And everybody's pissed off at the way it ended. I mean, it was everything that we wanted. And the one thing that I said I wanted on Friday, Scott, you remember? The one thing I said, I don't want the refs to be a story. That's all I want. And here we are. And you know what? I'm on the ref side. And I think that's a penalty at any point of the game. It just so happened that it happened. It was the game deciding moment. And that leaves a sour taste in everybody's mouth. Yeah. But it was the right call. It's the right call 10 out of 10 times. The Eagles player said it was the right call. He held Juju multiple times on one play. It sucks that it happened in that moment. It sucks because we were having such a classic, instant classic Super Bowl. And we wanted Jalen Hurts to have the chance to go back and tie the game or lead the Eagles to a game-winning drive because it was that kind of game. Mm-hmm. And we just never got to see it. But it was the right call.
Yeah, I know. I feel the same way. I know at the time I tweeted, refs suck. And it's not because it was the wrong call. Right. It's just because exactly as you just said it, so many of us were, again, remember, I'm not a Philly fan. I'm not a Kansas City fan. I really don't care who won. I just wanted an entertaining game. We got that. But as somebody who loves the game, what I wanted, and this is the selfish part, and I think I'm not alone in this. I think all fans feel this way today, unless you're a Kansas City fan. I think everybody wanted to see what could happen if Kansas City was forced to kick a field goal. Because remember, it was 3rd and 8 when they called the penalty. So if they kick the field goal there, now Jalen Hurts gets the ball back, and we see if Philadelphia can tie it or win it in the last second. So it's more of like a selfish fan thing than it is being like a bitter Philly fan. But look, was it the right call? Yeah. Were there calls missed during the game? Of course there were calls missed.
Where I
during the game.
disagree when you say it's a penalty 10 out of 10 times. It is a penalty, but how many times are things worse than that not being called in a lot of games throughout the season where that play just gets, you know, stopped on and 4th down and it's a field goal? That's where I think the fans go, come on, man. Like, I've seen so much worse not get flagged when they've shown replays and my team had to punt, or that's how we felt like we lost a game one time. Like, so that ticky tack, like, you have to have situational awareness as a referee, and you have to go, look, the Eagles stopped these guys on 3rd down. I'm not throwing that flag. That is not, they did not gain an advantage in that route ultimately that I can see that the Chiefs are just going to score because of that ticky tack. And that's what it was. I just went and said, I didn't say the refs sucked. I just said ticky tack call, and the refs just end the game like that. I just felt like situational awareness as a referee goes, we're playing on, man. There's a minute 49. It's going to be a 3-point game, or Butker misses this. And who knows what happens after that.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I think that's what surprised everybody is that it's the Super Bowl. There's under 2 minutes to go. It's a tie ball game. It's probably considered an uncatchable ball unless you make the argument that if Juju Smith-Schuster is not held, by the way, twice, I mean, it's not like such an obvious hold that you're like, okay, listen, there's nothing we can all say about it. We got to just let it go. I mean, the first part of it is the right hand, and the second part of it is the left hand.
But
and could he have made the catch if he never was slowed down? Don't know for sure. But that's kind of the argument on the other side. Is it a penalty? I would say by rule, yeah. But given where in the game and when in the game, listen, the kid who had the penalty after the game is in the locker room. You talk about stand up.
Jeez,
I mean,
know.
this kid is like, yeah, it's a penalty. It's just that I didn't think they would call it at that time of the game. And it wasn't like so obvious where he grabbed him and tackled him and put him down or just completely held on him. He thought that he was doing enough to slow him down, but not have the referees call a flag. Alex, can you play? What's this young man's name? The kid who's the defensive back
James
from Philly.
Bradbury.
What's his name?
James Bradbury.
So here he is. Here's the video of it. Ticky tack. I agree.
Yes. How much
But see, the
progress
thing is
does
that
it
angle,
really impede?
before you guys keep going on it, from that angle, from the Chiefs' offensive side of the ball, that angle, you miss the full jersey pool from the defensive side where the ref is at. The ref is behind. The ref is facing Juju to the back of Bradbury. There is a blatant jersey pool right away. Right away. And that's what he called. He didn't call the other stuff. He pulled his jersey. It was a terrible angle. We only got one quick angle of it. But if you see a still photo, and I'll try and find it. He literally pulled the jersey right away. And that's the angle that the ref had. So
yeah, it doesn't help.
You guys
No
know
doubt.
I'm not going to defend refs
No
ever.
doubt. It
but it was
help.
like,
but
on
how
that
long was he
angle-
on that jersey? Like, how long was he on that jersey in real time, not a freeze frame picture? And, yes, you see it. That's the problem. You see it. But from everything I've seen from the time that route starts, he never really impedes his progress and takes an advantage away from and Mahomes throws the ball up out in the corner of the end zone where nobody can catch it because he's going to go, are you going to throw that? Because, we're punting anyway. So I'm throwing this ball and I'm just firing it down in the deep corner where nobody's at. And you got to, you got to throw it. And so, yeah, the Chiefs, that's why I took the Chiefs to win this game. I said there's 100 reasons to take the Eagles and there's one reason to take the Chiefs. And that's the guy that won the game.
Yep, that's right. I mean, listen, Patrick Mahomes taking nothing. We'll get back to the penalty call in a second here because I know that's the big controversy today. But Patrick Mahomes, I said this to you guys last week. I was rooting for Philly. I thought it would be a great story if Philly wins. Second year head coach, young quarterback. There's just a lot of good storylines to the Eagles. But my heart was saying pick Philly, and my head was saying, how do you beat Kansas City? You can never count Mahomes out. Mahomes has elevated, in my opinion, to like, I know this is going to sound crazy. Mahomes has elevated to Michael Jordan status, to Kobe Bryant status, to guys who find ways to will their teams to wins. I mean, when he got hurt, if you go to the end of the first half, I think the score was 21-14 at the time, and you see Mahomes out in space running around, and he gets tackled by a Philly defender, and he comes up and he's limping, and then the camera catches his face, and you're like, there's a minute 33 to go, and this is now going to be fourth down. And he gets up and he's limping off the field, and his face, they show his face, and he's in agonizing pain, or so we all think, right? Then they show him on the bench, and he's sitting there with the head athletic trainer. I mentioned this guy's name last week. His name's Rick Burkholder. I've known Rick for 30 plus years. I was at his wedding. He was, our guy when I was back in college. He happened to be our athletic trainer. He's sitting on the bench next to Mahomes. I don't know if you guys caught this or not, but Mahomes is literally has his head on my boy Rick's shoulder. He's not like outwardly crying, but you could only imagine what the conversation is in that moment. Like, it's been 2 weeks. Actually, it's been longer than that. It's been 3 weeks since he got hurt, because he got hurt in the divisional round against Jacksonville, and he played on it in the AFC Championship game. And now he's had the 2 weeks in between the championship game and the Super Bowl. And we talked, is he going to get better? Maybe a little bit. But if you get him right, he's going to get hurt again. And he's sitting there on the bench with his head on Burkholder's shoulder. And here's what I was thinking. They're done, because he will come back. He will try to play. He will not be effective because of that ankle, and they're done. And this is what I was thinking going into halftime. And then late in that game, when he had to scramble, I mean, he may not have been 100%, and he may not have been running with everything he could have, but he was running on all heart,
I said this to my friend last night who was here. I was like, listen, the MVP of the game is not Patrick Mahomes. It is the trainer that injected him with a beautiful cocktail of whatever drugs they gave him at halftime, because that dude looked fresh as hell when he came out in the second half. I don't think he looked that good all playoffs than he did in the second half. And there was a story that in the AFC Championship game, he did not take an injection to help with the pain. That was the big story, that he just refused to do it. And I think in this moment, you varsity blues this thing, and you're like, hit me. Let's go. Because there's no way I'm not going to play the second half of this game. There's no way I'm going to miss this Super Bowl. So inject me with whatever you got to inject me, and I'll figure it out in the offseason, because there is no next week, and I'm not missing this game. So go for it. So your boy, MVP. And I'm not making a joke. I genuinely think whatever the trainers did is the reason the Chiefs won.
Your boy and the dude from Buffalo should start a business and just be like, look, it's $1 million a game to have us on the sideline. Who's paying? right now.
Right. You go into cardiac arrest, this is my special. You have a busted ankle, I shoot up a cocktail or whatever.
We're on the sidelines together. It's $1 million each for us to be together on a sideline. Who's paying us?
Because DeMar Hamlin and the entire Bills staff was recognized before the game, right? Your boy needs to be recognized at the parade. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes needs to give him a shout out. Patrick Mahomes needs to be like, this guy right here, like Kevin Durant with his mom, you the real MVP. Yeah. You the real MVP, because that was listen, I'm just assuming, but there's no way they didn't inject him with something.
Right. Of course.
And he looked great.
I mean, I was looking at video this morning. They keep showing him limping off the field, and his face says, I'm in agonizing pain. Not like, ooh, that hurt a little bit. I'm in agonizing pain. And they show him sitting on the bench, like with his head on the trainer's shoulder. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue, do something, help me. I'm telling you guys, I really thought he was done. It's not that I didn't think he would play. It's that I didn't think he could play, And then what happens? We're watching this video right now. So there's my boy Rick to his right. Oh, wow. And he's got his hand on his shoulder. And watch this. If this thing continues, look at that.
Oh, wow.
I mean, they show and what Fox did was okay. So they show Mahomes on the bench with his head on my boy Burkholder's shoulder. The orthopedic doctor is right in front of Mahomes. And then Fox immediately cuts away to get back to the action, which is a punt. Me, I'm like, yo, I want to keep the cameras on Mahomes. I don't care about the punt.
I just love.
Side note:
I
your
love the
boy's
name
got a great
Burkholder.
tan for being February, dude.
My boy got a great tan for it being February.
Oh yeah, man, he's darker than me right now.
Yeah,
That dude,
look at him.
he was definitely soaking up that Arizona sun.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's 21-14. There's a minute 33 to go in the second quarter. It's 4th and 12. Mahomes comes off the field. He's hurt. And I, as a viewer, am saying to myself, okay, he's done. And even if he comes back out and tries to play, it'll be worse for him today than it was in Kansas City in the AFC Championship game. And remember, in the AFC Championship game, it was freezing balls, right? But here in this game, the reason I thought that he would have a harder time is because the field was kind of a mess. You know, like guys were slipping and sliding all over the place. I'm not suggesting to you that it was as bad as the Holiday Bowl at Petco Park, but the field, it seemed like nobody could get traction.
How is that? You have a Super Bowl. You've been preparing for this thing. How do they have that bad of a field indoors for a Super Bowl game? Explain to me. That was another thing I was teed off about. I was talking to a buddy of mine during the game. I'm like, well, what is this?
So there was multiple things. Patrick Peterson, who now plays for the Vikings but played for the Cardinals for a very long time, he was on a pregame show, and he said, "I expect this to be a very bad field." I guess
Really?
Arizona is notorious for they're going regular grass, natural grass in an indoor stadium, half indoor, half outdoor, whatever. But what they do is, you know how they slide the grass in and out
Yeah.
from outside to inside?
Yeah.
So they maintain it outside. So it deals with the elements. It deals, and it's been pretty cold in Arizona overnight. So he said in the cold months, if the field is outside, it's very slippery because it deals with the elements. It gets a lot of moisture. It gets a lot of Arizona, whatever that weather is in Arizona in the colder months. That grass is affected by it because they bring it in and then they're painting it with a million logos because it's the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, they have to blow dry it. They have to blow dry it. And I don't know if they did or not.
Yeah.
Jacob Hester, former Charger, was saying Arizona is notorious for having a terrible slippery
Unbelievable.
field all the time.
Yeah.
Isn't that something? They forgot to blow dry it.
Got to blow dry the field.
That's where we are in sports.
Yeah.
They forgot to blow dry the field.
Well, players complain about turf. Players are I don't even know if players were actually complaining. They just switched the shoes. Like no one said anything about the field after the game. I didn't hear any players say anything about the field.
No.
They did do the thing where like
Yeah.
Jalen Hurts, you could tell he was wearing Jordan 11s and then he switched to Jordan 1s, and you could notice him because he went from white shoe to black shoe. And then they did a little thing. I think it was Ronaldo was on the Eagles sideline, and they talked about how all these Eagles players switched shoes and nobody on Kansas City switched shoes. So was it visibly upset to watch that stuff? Yeah. But were the players complaining about it after? No.
Yeah. So here's the thing is that after Mahomes gets hurt late in the first half, again, I don't know about everybody else. I'm thinking he's going to have a really hard time going because not only is he in pain, not only is the grass, not holding. I figure Patrick Mahomes, this is where Philadelphia pounces. And what was interesting was going into the game, like if you were trying to analytically figure out who was going to win, I thought Philadelphia would win for one reason. Their defensive front put so much pressure on quarterbacks, and they had so many sacks throughout the year that when you have a Mahomes at 75%, he won't be able to move the way he normally can move. And maybe they'll force him to make a mistake as he's trying to make some kind of a crazy Mahomesy kind of play. Almost happened, didn't happen. But here's where the game is really lost, if you will, for Philadelphia. We can all focus in on, the penalty and whether or not we think it should have been called or not. But the defensive front of Philadelphia never sacked Mahomes. They just never got to him. And in the second half in particular, when you think Mahomes is not going to be able to, do what he normally does, he somehow did. And Philadelphia's defensive front, which is supposed to be so great, did not step up and perform. I mean, they just never made the big play.
Not only did they not pressure Mahomes at all, they couldn't really stop the run. They ran for 160 yards.
Dynamite.
Yeah. Pacheco, I asked Kevin Keatsman about him. He was on my fantasy team this year. He was my sleeper. That dude is just a tough runner, never stops, but they just could not stop him.
Yeah.
Mahomes ran for a bunch. Pacheco looked great. 160 rushing yards against that Eagles defense.
Yeah, it's amazing. It really is. All right. So look, here's what I want to say. We got a great show coming up for you today. Okay. We've got a lot of content related to what happened yesterday. I am going to be curious to hear from you fellas what you were doing. Jay, I know you were up in Reno this past weekend doing stand-up, and we'll hear about that. Alex, I was concerned that we may not see you from your normal podcast studio today because you told us on Friday about all the work that was going on and all the problems that you've been having at your crib.
Still happening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And I was hoping that I had my voice back by today. So I'm getting there. I'm like probably 85, 90%. And then you might be wondering to yourself, if you're a daily listener or a daily viewer, what happened to Browner? How could you possibly miss the day after the Super Bowl? It's like one of the biggest, best days to be on the air, radio, TV, podcasting, whatever. How could you possibly not be on the air today, Browner? Where are you? Let's get to all of this coming up. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios. 7milecasino.com is the website. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and sort of the Brown Man. We got Jay Law in today. Hang with us, everybody.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Dominating the SoCal radio airwaves for over 20 years. Join Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner for Kaplan and Crew every Monday through Friday, 3 to 6 p.m. Only on the mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and the mightier1090.com.
At Shelter to Soldier, being a private nonprofit, we rely on the community. Thankfully, we have sponsors like the Barnes firm that get behind us.
We understand the difficulties that many of our veterans face when they come back into civilian life. And this program just seemed like the perfect fit.
Today we're catching up with Barney. He is now in our matching phase of our program. He is meeting eligible veterans in what we call speed dating.
How's it going?
So we have just recently approved 5 new veterans for our program. So Barney will be meeting every single one of them to see if he is the perfect match for them.
Barney's perfect date would be a nice long walk on the beach, and then he would like to end the night with a nice dinner with his veteran.
We got to find the right person for the right dog.
When someone you know has COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, things can progress very quickly, making them feel hopeless. But it doesn't have to be like this.
See, Mom, this place is going to be great for you. They're going to help you breathe better.
Pulmonary rehabilitation at La Mesa Rehab focuses on patient education and training. We use special therapies to improve your lungs, clear out mucus, and keep you out of the hospital. Pulmonary rehab is Medicare approved. Call now to see if you qualify or ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab today.
Since 1975, San Diegans have trusted the Murray-Lampert family for their home remodeling projects. We continue our commitment to deliver high-quality home remodeling and construction to our customers without an expensive showroom.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring value to your home, our team has the experience to handle everything. Plus, our strong relationships with the city makes adding on easier for homeowners.
Visit murraylampert.com for your consultation.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. 2, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Listen to The Mike Greenberg Show, 7 to 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday. Greeny brings his unmatched depth of sports knowledge, fun, and entertainment back to ESPN on a daily basis. The Mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk, and themightier1090.com. We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the Mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Hey, everybody, it's Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew. And with me right now is Rick Slider. He's the CEO of MedCline, which, by the way, is a pillow that is going to change your life. You have no idea what I'm talking about, but I'm telling you right now. Rick, how you doing, man? Where do we find you today?
Scott, great to talk to you. I'm in sunny San Diego, a place you're pretty familiar with.
Yeah, I'm glad it's sunny out. I see the Padres stuff right over your head. That looks pretty cool. And some Beastie Boys. You got some cool stuff behind you.
We had a different sports team up on the wall for a while that had to be taken down, say half dozen years ago. But the Padres still flies prominently on the wall.
I love it, man. Hey, if you could, while we have this time together, can you tell everybody the backstory of MedCline and how you guys have become such a big San Diego company selling all over the world and what the deal is with the MedCline systems?
Sure. MedCline started here in San Diego, started by a radiologist whose primary practice was at UCSD. And he was a longtime sufferer of heartburn and acid reflux. Tried everything, tried diet changes, was taking medication, proton pump inhibitors or PPIs that a lot of people take. But he was looking for a natural way to reduce his heartburn symptoms. And he found through trial and error that when he slept in an incline and when he slept on his side, his heartburn and acid reflux symptoms would dissipate. Because he's a doctor, he wanted to make sure that this just wasn't by chance. And so he set up some clinical studies using a system that he designed and patented. We got clinical trial results, found that there was a strong reduction in the esophageal acid that would take place during the night, reducing his symptoms. And with that, decided to create a product called MedCline and commercialized it a few years ago. And that is really how our company began, with his personal desire to stop his heartburn and reflux symptoms.
That's amazing. It really is amazing. Like when you have something wrong, you're like, I'm going to fix this problem. But you know what's amazing to me is that acid reflux is a problem that obviously a lot of people have. But for me, I have shoulder pain, chronic shoulder pain from the way I sleep, because I sleep with my arm over my head and then my pillow in between. So when I got my first MedCline, I didn't realize there's the reflux relief pillow, but there's the shoulder relief pillow. And it's completely changed everything for me. My shoulder pain has gone so far down because I'm no longer sleeping like this. I'm like underneath. And tell me about the shoulder pillow, please.
Sure. First of all, I'm so glad to hear that it's working for you. That's fantastic. Secondly, as we brought MedCline to the marketplace, we found that there were a number of individuals that benefited from therapeutic side sleeping beyond just those suffering from heartburn or GERD. And the primary use is for shoulder pain. And the reason I think people like you have been so comfortable with the MedCline is because of our patented arm pocket. When you try and sleep on your side and you have shoulder pain, you run the risk of your shoulder getting frozen, exacerbating pain that you might be feeling, whether it's due to rotator cuff, general shoulder soreness. And so our incline has a patented arm pocket that allows you to either rest comfortably on your elbow or to slide through, sounds like what you do, slide your arm through the system so you can stay at an elevation and sleep comfortably on your side throughout the night. And today, here in 2023, our shoulder product is actually our top seller. It surpassed those that suffer from heartburn and acid reflux, simply because there's more people with shoulder injuries across the country. And we're glad that we're able to help you out.
It's awesome. Hey, we don't have a lot of time, but in the last minute, would you just tell everybody how the MedCline products, though, have gone viral, particularly on TikTok. Just give us like a 30 or 60 seconds about what has happened.
You know, I'd love to say that I'm a marketing genius here, Scott, but really it's just about excited consumers sharing the benefits they get of MedCline. And it's amazing what happens when people finally can get a good night's sleep, how they're so excited to share that information. And recently, we've always been a part of social media, but recently we've kind of found a niche within TikTok. I didn't know that healthy sleep TikTok was a subgenre, but it really is. And with a few different posts, we've seen over just in the last 30 days, over 10 million people exposed to our MedCline products. So we're excited about the virality that this has created. I think it's in part because we have a 95% customer satisfaction rate. We know we can help people get a good night's sleep. It does take a while to adjust and sleep differently. But we're excited to see kind of the viral nature of our product grow, and we're excited to help out as many customers as possible.
It's awesome. I want to encourage everybody who's watching right now, go to medcline.com, medcline.com. Look at the different products. Know you're supporting a San Diego company, and I encourage everybody, sleep better with our friends from MedCline.
Drivers are getting in accidents at a rate we've never seen before, jumping 18% since 2020. There are higher incidents of speeding and more aggressive driving since the pandemic began. Please slow down and drive safely. It can save a life.
An ADU is accessory dwelling unit, and it's become one of the most popular solutions to housing in the United States. We constructed this to provide housing for my mother, who is elderly.
Well, I wanted to downsize. At my age, that's what I wanted to do. Eric engaged the services of Murray Lambert, a top building company.
This is an 825 square foot structure, but it actually looks more like 1,000 because of the spatial considerations. Micah was great. He took the ball and ran with it and came up with this really great combination.
It always appealed to me, high ceilings. It gives a sense of space, of openness, and I like that. Oh, I would give this experience a 10 for sure. Plus, 10 plus.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those with all types of lung disease and long COVID symptoms.
Surf Soccer has been around for over 30 years. We're based here in San Diego, but we are the premier national youth sports brand in soccer. Our mission is to create experiences and opportunities for kids, and we do that here mostly in San Diego with our 1,000 kids, but we also do it through our events where we really help kids chase their dreams.
PNC Bank's sponsorship helps the kids here. One, it is to continue to help fund facilities like this where the kids can come play soccer. Two, it is really through our scholarship program. There are a lot of kids in San Diego that have incredible levels of talent, but they can't afford to play on a team like Surf. And so a lot of our sponsorship dollars go back into scholarships to give an opportunity for kids who are low to moderate income to play on one of the elite teams in the U.S.
Having a partner like PNC who is community oriented and cares about the development of youth in the community is amazing because our missions are completely aligned and we're both driven by helping develop kids, and in this case through sport in San Diego.
At the Barnes firm, we're seeing more pedestrian and bicycle accidents. Drivers are rolling through red lights, and distracted driving makes every intersection a danger zone for pedestrians. Look both ways when crossing, even if you have the right of way.
Welcome back. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew Show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio. SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, John Browner, and Alex Padilla.
All right, great friends. Hey, it is Monday afternoon. This is Kaplan and Crew with Grande and the Brown Man, although no Brown Man today. Comedian Jason Lawhead is in for the Brown Man. I'm going to explain that in a second here. So we're just getting on, to 1090. We're getting on to our YouTube chat. By the way, yes, YouTubers. Let's make sure everybody's inside of that YouTube chat. And to grow, I always try to explain this to everybody. To grow, you know what we really need from all the chatlins? There is a share button on YouTube. Whether you're watching on your phone or you're watching on your computer, there is a share arrow. If you share it on Twitter or Facebook, or you text it to your pals, we got to all do something here to generate even more. So to all of our YouTube viewers, click that share button and get more of your friends here. So TV tonight, YouTube right now, radio right now, audio podcast, it's all happening at this exact moment. We're in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. All right, so Jay Law, I'm going to throw this one to you first.
Yeah.
Tell me
Love it.
about your Super Bowl Sunday. Where were you? What were you doing?
Yeah, man. I actually stayed home, flew in from Reno in the morning, and I think I just kind of caught a little bug around the like a little scratchy throat congestion. Nothing like sick. Like I'm not like I have energy and everything else and appetite. I mean, it sucks to eat because my throat's a little scratchy, but yeah. So I just decided I was going to go to a buddy of mine's Super Bowl party, comic out in Temecula, and I just kind of said, "Hey, man, I'm not feeling it. I don't want to bring anything over there." So this is an actual TV screen that I cover for the show, and so I have like a nice recliner with a massage chair right over there looking. So I take this off, and last night I spent it up here watching the Super Bowl as the wife did whatever she wanted to do down there, and
Because she
I would
wasn't
yell at
watching. She had no interest.
halftime show. She was I think she was at a Pilates class for the first half, and then she came home, watched the halftime show, and then had no interest.
Can you guys imagine? Can you imagine a life where you don't care at all about
I
the
envy it.
Super Bowl, right? Like,
I
I
envy
know,
it.
so do I. My girlfriend, same thing yesterday. I was hustling yesterday. I'll explain what I was doing. And she was passed out on the couch for the first half of the game, woke up for halftime. Her friends came over, and this couple,
It's great.
the wife, she don't have any interest. Even the husband, he don't have an ounce of interest at all in the Super Bowl. Like this guy and I, we can never find a common ground to talk sports. And I love this guy to death. I love him, but he don't have an ounce of interest. And
Right.
you're so right. Like there's a part of me that envies people that don't have an interest at all. And people who don't have an interest in the game, they do have an interest in the entertainment portion of things. They wanted to see Rihanna
Yep.
at halftime, which, by the way, speaking of Rihanna, um, I know there's a lot out there on social media and on the internet about what she was wearing and about her pregnant and, this reveal. I must tell you guys, I thought she was freaking awesome. And earlier in the day, I decided to go run this 10K in Encinitas called the Kook Run, which I've done now a couple years in a row. And I turn on a Super Bowl mix on like Spotify, and I'm listening to all this Rihanna yesterday morning while I was on this run. And the catalog of music that she has, I know she talked this week about trying to narrow it down to 13 minutes. That's because she's got a million hits, but I thought she was great. I thought the fact that there were no other artists that kind of came in and we're all talking about, oh, she brought in this guy and she brought in that girl. I thought it was great that it was just her and her dancers. I will tell you this. There's a moment in the Super Bowl halftime where she's dancing and she's kind of got this like little Michael Jackson move where, Michael used to grab his crotch. She's kind of like rubbing her crotch and then she sort of puts her fingers up around her mouth. And I'm going, oh, wait, just wait for America, the middle of America to go, did you just see what she did? Did you just see that? I just got home from church, man. She touched her crotch and smelled it. Like to me, I thought there was going to be like total controversy about some of those dance moves. People are like, "Well, did you hear what she was saying?" I'm like, "No, not really." I mean, the lyrics, no. Were they really really super risque? Do we know?
In
I
my
don't know.
opinion,
I was on
I
the
don't
phone.
either.
I was on the phone with my buddy talking Super Bowl the whole time.
no. Listen, man. As the Gen Zero of the show,
Yeah.
there really not much you could do on stage that I would be like, clutch my pearls, Like there's really not. So what
Dude,
she
I
did
loved it.
yesterday, I was like, if you had a problem with that, then there ain't really nothing that you could do.
No, but
You got to throw Paul McCartney up there for no one to complain about it.
what I'm saying is that I loved it. I actually thought the moves were hot and sexy. I just thought that there's somebody sitting at their house in the middle of the country going, "Did she just touch her crotch and smell her fingers?"
I mean,
How am I supposed to explain that to my 6-year-old?
Yeah,
It's
right.
like, your 6-year-old does that, so don't worry about it.
in my house, the conversation was, "Wait, is she pregnant?"
Yeah.
Like, she's clearly pregnant. She's very
Oh.
clearly pregnant, right? Like, so that was the conversation, and then we just all kind of shut up for
I thought
13
she was
minutes and
great.
watched it. It was
I
great.
thought she was awesome. I really did. And I love the fact again that, rather than infuse a whole bunch of other artists, like she just went out there and did her thing. And I thought she was great. I really did. So imagine a
I
life.
thought her energy of her dancers were like ridiculous. Like that set was freaking cool. She had 280 dancers or something like that. And I thought like she needed it because she's pregnant. So she didn't have that
Right.
typical, like performer energy.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get down with all the moves because she's walking around with a baby in there, dude. So I thought it was I personally I loved it. And yes,
I did too.
bangers, man. That girl's
Yeah.
got bangers.
I loved it also. But imagine a life where you just don't care 1 ounce
Unreal.
about the Super Bowl.
And I love it because people ask me like, "Man, you're such a sports fan. Your wife is." I don't want to marry me. I want to marry the furthest thing from me.
You know what my wife was doing? She was asleep.
Yeah.
Passed out.
See?
Tired. Had a long Saturday night. She's like, I'm gonna go to sleep. I was like,
Did you just watch the game at home alone?
no, not alone. I had a few people over, but like
Okay.
people that actually cared about the game, and she just
Yeah.
didn't. So she
Yeah.
went to the room and took a nap. She's like, wake me up before Rihanna. But got up at the 2-minute warning, woke her up, and I was like, yo, Rihanna's gonna come on soon. She's like, okay. She gets up, joins the party.
Nice.
But yeah, it is fascinating to me because it does feel like when the Super Bowl comes around, it feels like everybody's watching it.
Mhm.
And whatever reasons, I don't think really people tune in for commercials anymore. That seems to have lost its luster,
Mhm.
especially because all the good commercials are already out on
Yeah.
social media before the game even starts. But I think Rihanna brought in a whole new demographic of people watching that game just for her. I saw celebrities at the game
Yeah.
that were wearing shirts that said this football game interrupting the Rihanna concert's kind of weird. Like so. I think it is interesting to find someone that didn't watch. Like
Yeah.
I don't know a person that at least didn't tune in for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. My
Yeah.
my girlfriend and I yesterday morning, we woke up and took my 16-year-old daughter at 7 o'clock in the morning. We went into downtown Encinitas, and we were going to run what's called the Kook Run,
Yeah.
and it's a 5K or a 10K. And I told my daughter, I said, "Hey, I signed us up for the 10K." To which she responded, "Girl, I've never run more than 4 miles in my life. I don't know why you think I should be running a 10K." I'm like, "Look, do whatever you want to do. I don't care." So it's 7:30. This race starts. I swear to you two guys, I have not gone for a jog. Okay, in
I
2023.
like how you landed that
Right.
hard G.
Yeah, right. A jog.
A jog.
Good.
Yeah, I've not even gone for a jog in 2023. I've walked on a treadmill at 30-minute clips, but that's about it. So I said to my daughter, I go, let's just go see what we can do. So my girlfriend's going to walk it with her friends. Me and my daughter decide we're going to just jog it, right? So we jogged this 10K. Took us forever because we're slow as hell, not in shape, not trying. The winners, the guys who were like leading the pack, they were coming at us. I mean, running, sprinting, full speed. These guys are doing like 450 miles. They are flying. We're running like 12-minute miles. We're just taking our time, man. We're out there having a nice time.
Sure.
Get done with this 10K and feel pretty darn good about myself. And I had to go yesterday afternoon to play LA Cap up at this casino in Riverside. See, I'm in character.
Yeah.
But
See,
can
Jay?
before you
it.
jump
LA
to
Cap.
the before you
that's
jump
so
to
great
the
that you say that I gotta go play LA Cap.
Right.
before you jump to the LA Cap part of this conversation,
Yeah.
I feel like I wouldn't be doing my job because Browner's not here and point out what are you doing? What are you doing waking up on Super Bowl Sunday
Mm-hmm.
and like I'm gonna go run a 10K?
Yeah.
Like that,
Yeah.
you know what's funny? People were at my house that follow you on Instagram
Mm-hmm.
and they asked me, what the hell is Scott doing? I'm like, some white person stuff. I don't know.
White-
Some white
some
people
white
stuff.
person.
Like, ain't nobody but white people running a marathon the day of Super Bowl.
Only North County white
Yeah.
people would think, let's
This
have a
is
7 a.m. run every Super Bowl Sunday.
This is the same guy who woke up New Year's Day to do a polar plunge. Like,
Right.
this is the same breath of air that we're talking about here of a guy that wakes up on Super Bowl Sunday, forces his daughter to wake up with him to go run for fun.
And it was great. It was so much fun because then when we got done,
It was
when we got
great,
done,
man.
there was a big beer garden, and everybody was putting down beers, which was a lot of fun. And then I was freezing my ass off. It was really, really cold. So I came home, cleaned up, and then I drove out to this appearance that I was doing. I was hosting this party at a casino up in Riverside called Yamava Casino. Yamava is like in LA. You can't watch a Dodger game or a Laker game. They spend a ton of money in sports in LA. So I was hosting this party yesterday with Robert Woods, who, Alex, we've always loved Robert
Yeah,
Woods,
he's been super nice to us. Yeah.
Right. And Robert Woods shows up yesterday, bro, and he's got on his Super Bowl ring on his index finger. This Super Bowl ring from last year with the Rams is so freaking gigantic that it's on his index finger. And he's like, I never wear it. I don't have anywhere to wear it to, but I thought I'm coming to a Super Bowl party. I might as well rock this thing. So Robert Woods is wearing this giant ring on his finger, and we're hosting this party, and we're giving away $1,000 every time somebody scores a touchdown. We gave away $9,000 yesterday, which was
Nice.
super cool.
Remember we talked about how like Yamava probably wanted a Patriots Rams Super Bowl,
Yeah.
like a 13-9 kind of thing.
Right.
They got the opposite.
They got
a
the exact
shootout.
opposite. Now, you guys will get a kick out of this. So, who comes to show up yesterday? Jason Lawhead's #1 fan came to hang out yesterday at this Super Bowl party.
My number one.
That's right. Your number
Do
one.
I have a number one
You-
fan? My wife was
No,
there?
not your wife.
No.
She's not
Well,
your.
that's right. She's not with me.
No, she's not.
Okay.
I'll tell you who showed up. Tommy showed up yesterday with Larry the
Tommy
Birdman.
Tommy.
Tom,
Larry the Birdman.
yeah, Tommy and Larry the Birdman show up, right? Let me tell you about Tommy yesterday at Yamava. My man shows up, signs up for a card, like the local, like the casino card for Yamava. They give him $20 in free play. He goes to a slot machine, one spin at $20, he wins $520.
Nice.
Then they have a drawing every quarter, $250, $500, $750, $1,000, depending on the quarter. $250. They just pull a name out of a hat. My man Tommy wins $250 in free play. Right? Then there's 4 people that all won $250 in free play. They have this little game, and somebody's going to win $1,000 piece of sports memorabilia. Tommy pulls off this thing. He wins $500 more in free play. My man won yesterday with no money. I mean, no money. He was already up $1,000 yesterday with no money at all.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Very
and he
cool.
showed up and he had on a hat. He had made a custom made hat that said LA Cap. And then on the side of it, it said the Chatlins. Okay. Because he was representing everybody who watches in our YouTube.
Okay.
I mean, he was on fire yesterday. And
Good for Tommy, man.
Yeah, good for him. So I was up there yesterday having a good time, giving away a bunch of money and watching the Super Bowl at a absolutely jam-packed party. It's all there on my Instagram, Alex. Your friends who were over at your house yesterday, they can
This
check
was
it out.
here we were a prototypical American household, dude. We got chicken wings, pizza, chips, veggie tray that nobody touched, some watermelon. It was a classic Super Bowl food over here, and it was delightful.
Yeah. They made these Philly cheesesteaks yesterday at Yamava. They don't usually have that on the menu, but because they do have a barbecue place, so that was kind of the Kansas City representation, and they made Philly cheesesteaks yesterday that were on fire out of this
Phenomenal.
world. Yeah, they were great.
How's Robert Woods doing?
Robert
Is he
Woods
trying
is
to get
awesome.
back to LA?
Well, you know what? Robert Woods is awesome. We had a really great time, he and I, because first of all, Alex, you obviously remember years ago when we first went to Rams training camp and we met Robert Woods, and we met his wife there that day, right? So we've had a really nice relationship with Robert Woods for all these years. And I think the Rams seriously underestimated what he meant to their team. And he went to Tennessee this year. He was their leading wide receiver. And, he got a chance this year to play against Philadelphia, and they played against Kansas City, a game that they lost in overtime by 3 points. And so he kind of broke down a little bit about where he thought the game was going to go and how it was going to work. And he picked Kansas City to win the game, to a lot of boos because there were mostly Eagle fans
Yeah.
there yesterday. But all in all, it was a terrific day, a lot of fun. And but I will say this, like Jay, you described watching the Super Bowl sitting at home and sitting in your massage chair. And Alex
Yeah.
describes sitting at home with some friends that are over. Nobody's touching the veggie tray.
Yeah.
I'm watching this game. I swear to you guys, there were thousands and thousands of people there, So while I was trying to focus on the game, I'll tell you one thing in particular. In the fourth quarter, the first drive of the fourth quarter, the Chiefs scored, and I don't even know how it happened. Like they scored, and I'm like, how did that happen? Like, it's hard to watch a game in a bar that crowded.
That
you
is
know?
my biggest. That's my biggest thing. I don't like doing it just for the Super Bowl. I got to be in a place where I can listen to things and really pay
Yeah,
attention
me
to
too
things.
now.
But here in North
When I
Park,
was
dude,
younger.
there's 2 Philly bars, both in earshot distance of my balcony. I had to
Mhm.
close my windows because I'm a streamer, and the bars are ahead of me. So when the Eagles scored the first touchdown, we heard a bunch of yelling, and I was like, "Damn it, I forgot about that," because that happened to me the entire Niner Eagles game. So I had to close the screen, close my windows, turn the volume up because I would hear the raucous of North Park because it was filled with Eagles fans yesterday. So I'd have to close it, and then we were able to watch because I think DirecTV streams like, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 seconds behind everything. So, but there it was freaking packed, bro. And then I felt so bad. I won't do the bar names, but there was power outages in North Park yesterday. So bars that were having big Super Bowl parties had to cancel because they had no power.
Damn.
Worst day ever. And there is one bar in particular that I go to all the time. They started tweeting out like halftime, "Hey, we're open, $20 buckets of beers, dollar hot dog." Like they just wanted to get people in there because they just lost all their business on the biggest day of the year.
It is so funny you're saying that. So listen to this story. It happened to a friend of mine yesterday. She after this 10K that I told you guys I ran yesterday, and Alex, I agree with you, is a very white guy thing to do.
I mean,
run a 10K on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
I did see one black dude out there. He
Dude,
was
but
fit and looking fast.
You can
know?
just stop at run on Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter how far, where, how you do it. Like there shouldn't be no running of any sort on Super Bowl Sunday.
But again, just in a very white guy kind of world, like me and all my white guy buddies afterwards were like, doesn't it feel great to have already put in 6 miles before 9 a.m. and now we can go hit a bar and drink a few beers and then get on with the day for Super Bowl? So one of my friends yesterday, though, she showed up at a bar for a little post-run party, right? And she started putting a couple of them down. And before you knew it, she was pretty tipsy. So somebody made the decision, hey, we got to get her an Uber. Let's get her home. Let's put her in an Uber. So apparently this Uber shows up and it's a really, really nice Tesla Uber. And they put her in the car, right? And on her way home, she throws up all over the car.
Oh.
No.
Dude, my friend, she pukes all over this guy's car. Right? Now think about this. Now think about it. It's Super Bowl Sunday, just like the bars, Alex, that lost their power and now they've lost their business on Super Bowl Sunday, a really big important day.
Yeah.
It's Super Bowl Sunday, and my man here has got this Tesla, and he's planning on driving all day long.
Right.
And she just yacked all over the inside of his car, and there is no driving for him the rest of the day because nobody's. Yeah, it smells like puke.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a Sunday. You can't go get a detail.
And your friend is on the hook, right?
What? Okay, for how much? Take a
I'm
guess.
Oh, yeah.
I think I've heard the number,
lot.
but
What
it's
is it?
not cheap.
How much you think?
Isn't it like 500 for like
Dude.
detail or something like that?
Dude, you ready for this?
Yeah.
750.
Yes.
750.
Yes, exactly.
I
the
knew
number.
it was really high.
J Law, $750. This person can't drive. Car has to be cleaned. Will
Detail.
lose all their money on Super Bowl Sunday. $750 for throwing up in the back of an Uber on Super Bowl Sunday. Names will remain. I will protect the innocent by not mentioning names. I'll say that.
Goodness, dude, that is
Wow.
brutal,
Crazy,
bro.
I know.
I'd rather fight a DUI than have to go through that.
Oh man, that's
All right, hey,
rough.
listen, that gives me a chance to just mention really quick. Hey, thanks to our friends from Penske San Diego, PenskeSanDiego.com. If you are thinking about a new car right now, PenskeSanDiego.com is the place to go. Use that website, because Penske San Diego makes it fun, fast, and easy. Okay, 1,000 vehicles through 12 dealerships that have 9 different brands, plus all the certified pre-owned. Anything you're looking for, you're going to find on PenskeSanDiego.com. When you do, you say, okay, I'm coming to the dealer and I want to see car A, B, C, and D. They'll have them lined up, ready for you. You test drive, boom, makes it fast and easy. I'm telling you right now, it's a whole new way to buy, and PenskeSanDiego.com is a true leader in the industry. Make it fast, fun, and easy for you. PenskeSanDiego.com. All right, coming back. Let's jump right back into it. I thought Mahomes was hurt at the end of the first half and would never survive the second half. Wait till you see what Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs accomplished in the second half. We'll get there next. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 AM, ESPN Radio, and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by MedCline. Sleep better, feel better, live better.
Locally owned and operated, not some bland, uninspired, corporate, cookie-cutter radio station crap. We simply say to those stations, Q. The mightier 1090 ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.
Murray Lampert now brings architectural and interior design to a whole new level for your remodel, ADU, or whole house build.
We're truly a team at Murray Lampert Design, Build, Remodel, and we don't take that lightly.
Visit murraylampert.com.
This is a huge wall. I'm sure it presented some challenges.
You're right, Sarah. And what it was in the model we noticed that it was too much wood. This was supposed to be clad. And with the beautiful stairs and railings, we realized that we need to come up with a different finish. So we used these reglets that are metal with the drywall, and it gave it this grid look that also matches up with the beams.
Wow, that came out beautiful. If you want to see how they conquered more design challenges, check out Our Family, Your Home.
When you're in pain, you need physical therapy that works, but you want to feel safe during these times. At La Mesa Rehab, your health is our business. We screen each patient, provide masks, and constantly sanitize our private individual treatment areas so you can focus on healing. The foundation of our physical therapy is education. Our therapists care and guide you through the healing process. Ask your doctor about La Mesa Rehab.
The best care you can have at La Mesa Rehab.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
If you're going to count yourself as a fan of this radio station, you'll need to continuously ask yourself one basic question. Am I listening enough? Pro tip, wives are not a good source for input on this. This is the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
For many consumers, sleeping at night should be an easy experience. For many, it's not. There are a number of reasons for that, most notably those that suffer from acid reflux or heartburn. There are also many individuals dealing with various pains or ailments. MedCline is a sleep solution company with our goal to allow people to have a healthy and peaceful night's sleep. And we do that with our therapeutic side sleeping systems. Our patented, clinically studied MedCline relief systems are designed to place an adult in an elevated side sleeping position, which can help them reduce the symptoms or issues they're dealing with. MedCline systems are registered with the FDA, and as a medical product, MedCline systems are qualified for use with FSA and HSA funds. For anyone looking for more information, you can visit medcline.com/sleepbetter.
Hey everybody, this is Scott Kaplan from Kaplan and Crew Tonight here on Cox Your View. Just want to tell everybody that Cox TV home base throughout Southern California, but you can get us on radio on 1090. You can get us on our YouTube channel, all the different audio podcast platforms. And I want to say thank you very much to a San Diego-based company that's selling all over the world. That's MedCline, MEDCLINE, medcline.com. They're going to change the way you sleep. They're our sponsor this month, and we appreciate you guys. Visit medcline.com.
When you're adding companion units or ADUs to bring more value to your home, our experience plus our strong relationship with the city makes adding on easier for our homeowners.
At Murray Lampert, we listen to you first, then design and build. Visit murraylampert.com.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM ESPN Radio, SoCal Sports Talk.